Headlines say Florida real estate market is crashing. It's just the opposite. Today I'm going to take a look at the South Florida luxury real estate market and show why it's strengthening and gaining momentum. For the last 2.5 years, I've been writing about the South Florida luxury real estate market on a quarterly basis. Down below, I'll put some links to get you caught up in what I've been writing about for 2025. For this South Florida luxury real estate market update, I like to look at broader trends, like what's happening in different counties, all the zip codes, maybe some local communities. I like to look at what's happening with buyer behavior, seller behavior, and also just trends in general. And if you stick around to the very end, I'll share with you what I consider my listing of the month. That's right, a luxury listing here in the Southland that I think you should know about. So as I live in downtown Delray Beach, we will start with Delray Beach's luxury real estate zip code, which is 33483. It's everything east of the train tracks all the way out to the ocean. And in this quarter, a few data points jump out for us to begin. First up is the months of supply. I like to look at this one to really determine if it's a seller's or buyer's market. And to begin, the definition is anything over 6 months of supply, that is going to be a buyer's market. Below 6 months is going to be a seller's market. And as you can see from this chart, this is a 2-year chart, but looking back to April of this year, where months of supply was at 6.95 months, today it's fallen in the last 120 days to 3.93 months. This is a massive drop in just 4 months in Delray Beach. Now let's take a look at my favorite days on market chart. So here is a 2-year look at the days on market in Delray Beach, and you can tell that it's going sideways with a slight rise. So it doesn't look good for sellers. Last month we closed at 136 days on market. That's a long time. That's over 4 months to sell a property. Now let's take a look at the next one. This is the number of sold luxury properties in Delray Beach. This is a 5-year look, and you can tell this. Back at 5 years ago, we were selling between, let's say, 60 and 80 properties a month. Now today, it's fallen into the 20, 30, even 40 properties a month. So at the same time, you have rising days on markets taking longer to sell. And over the last 5 years, we're selling a lot less luxury properties. That's not a good sign for sellers. So let's put an end to looking at Delray Beach's luxury market by looking at the market trend graph. Take a look at this. You can clearly see that the arrow is pointing in the seller's market. But this is a massive change because just 90 days, 120 days ago, this was clearly on the buyer's side. So if we continue to see the trend going away from buyers and moving further into a seller's market, as slow season and rainy season ends in the next 60 days, it's going to be a real interesting high season with less properties to sell and demand is returning to the market. Okay, 2 last pieces of information on Delray Beach. Over the last year, the year-over-year median price is up 9.3%. At the same time, the number of properties sold compared to 2024 is down 9.9%. So price is going up, number of properties going sold. And if you'd rather get this information on a more frequent basis, down below I have a link to my free weekly eLetter. I've been writing about it for the last 5 years. I talk about all things Delray Beach, restaurants, real estate prices, luxury, everything that's happening in Delray Beach. If you'd rather get information free on a weekly basis, the link is down below. Get it. So as I mentioned to start this video, I like to compare Delray Beach luxury market with the rest of South Florida. So in this report, I've taken a look at 5 different communities and zip codes, looking at months of supply, days on market, as well as the number of units sold year over year. Let's start with Boca Raton, the 33432 zip code. The months of supply is 4.29, days on market is 133 days, that's high, and the sold units is up 14.8%. You can't see that. The next one is Palm Beach at 33480. Months of supply is 4.2 months, days on market is a high 143 days as well. You can't see, but the sold units is up 7.1%. Next is West Palm Beach, 33401. The months of supply, 4.3 months. Days on market, just over 3 months. And the number of sold units is down 21%. That's a big number to take a look at for West Palm Beach. Next is Pompano Beach or Lighthouse Point, zip code 33064. Months of supply, 6.1. Days on market, just over 3 months. And the number of units sold is down almost 18%. Last is Fort Lauderdale by the Sea, 33308. Months of supply, 7.89. Days on market, again, 3 months, as well as the number of units sold, 9.5 months. That's a lot of data to memorize. So what does all this information mean? I interpret it this way. I believe we're still in a luxury buyer's market. Why? Because the days on market is so high and the months of supply, even though it's gone from a strong buyer's market and shifting into a seller's market, there's still just so much supply and it's taking a long time for this inventory to sell. So the main thing is, for a seller, you're liking the data because the data is getting less bad. That's a good thing for a seller. But for home buyers, don't get lazy. The information is changing. We're going from rainy, slow season, which is what I call peak buying season. And over the next 60 days, we're transitioning into what's going to be high season. That's when more competition from buyers come in. So you don't want to wait till all the competition is here. Over the next 60 days, there's still lots of inventory to look at. The sellers are still trying to find the market, and it's still a great time to get in. Don't be lazy if you're a buyer. So every quarter in this South Florida luxury real estate market update, I'm going to share with you my listing of the quarter. That's a lot to say, but I get out there and see a lot of listings all throughout South Florida, and this one stood out to me. Why? Because it has a lot of sustainable features in it. Let's take a look at all these photos as I rattle off some information for you. This luxury home of the month is sustainably built waterfront beauty in Fort Lauderdale by the Sea, 4,628 square feet, 5 bedroom, 5 bath. It has 75 feet of waterfront with a luxury docking available, saltwater pool and spa, and an outdoor kitchen. This allows for easy access to the Atlantic Ocean if you own a boat and you like to get out in the water. But the sustainable features are as follows. The foundation was raised 8 feet above the street level to protect it from all sea rising and any flooding issues. It has induction stove that uses a magnetic field to heat the pan directly. Induction is considered more sustainable as it uses a lot less energy. The kitchen itself, you'll find, is made from Dexton countertops. These are carbon neutral, ultra compact porcelain surfaces. The sustainable house is a smart home. In addition to the roofing, solar panels, the garage is built with EV, electric vehicle charging, so there's no need to consider anything else for your EV cars. That's a lot of information for this month. If you'd like to get a tour of that house, give me a call. We'll set up a private tour. I hope you enjoyed this quarter's luxury update. See you next time.